I'd like to welcome John from England, who's got multiple sclerosis. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Could you tell us, when were you diagnosed with multiple sclerosis?
I was diagnosed on July 2000.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 38.
What was your life like before you were diagnosed with MS? How healthy were you?
I was healthy. I was and I still am a police officer. I was at that stage. I was riot trained and various all bits and pieces. I used to play squash, go swimming with my children, and the occasional out for a run and bits and pieces. So I like to keep myself healthy.
So what symptoms did you have?
Well, basically, before I was diagnosed, way back in about 1987 or something, I suffered from optic neuritis or neurosis, whatever it's called, in my right eye. I had it for about sort of 6 months and various tests, and I used to work across the road from Moorfields Eye Hospital. So I would go in there, have tests, and they basically sort of said, well, asked me all these questions and said, well, we think you've nicked the optic nerve. Little did we know that years later, obviously, it would all kick in. That was the initial, and then nothing happened until about 98, something like that, when I started having problems, like spasms on my right side.
Did you have any numbness, pins and needles?
No.
Bowel or bladder problems?
Not at that stage, no.
No?
No, not at that stage, no.
Okay. So what impact did it have on you and your family being diagnosed?
Oh, massive. Massive, yeah. I mean, when the neurologist told me what it was, after I'd had this raft of tests, it was like he took a sledgehammer to my head. I was just, my first thought was, oh, my kids, oh my God. It was nothing else. That was my first thought. And then I went on to think about various options and whatever. Because at that stage, when I was diagnosed, I was walking about and this, that, and the other, and I didn't think it was going to have that much effect on me. So, when I told my wife, she said, well, listen, she said, it's not just you that's got it. We've all got it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's not a condition where it just affects the person, it affects the whole family.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
It certainly does. How old were your children at the time?
Oh, gosh, my son was probably, let me think, so he'd have been 9, right. And my daughter 7.
Right, so I mean, they were still young children, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes. So how did you learn about LDN?
A colleague of mine who's got multiple sclerosis basically told me about it, and he gave me this lady's details. I spoke to her, and she told me all about LDN.
And did you manage to get your own doctor to prescribe it for you?
At that stage, I'm just thinking, initially, no. I got it online from a chemist in Glasgow, and I still do. I did went to the stage where I was getting it prescribed from my GP. However, they've written to me and said that they're no longer going to prescribe it. So it doesn't happen anymore.
Okay, so you're going to have to get it privately?
Yes.
So when did you actually start LDN?
Probably about 18 months, 2 years ago.
Right. And how would you say it's helped you? What symptoms has it helped with?
Oh, enormously, particularly my bladder. Mm-hmm. Because I was having ridiculous bladder problems. And like a lot of people, but since the LDN, it really has made such a change. My bladder, and it's actually helped with, if you like, my heat intolerance, because, I'm a martyr to that. My eye problems. So really it has helped me enormously. And my wife and children, they've seen a difference.
So they've got their dad back?
To a point, yeah.
To a point. It's not a cure, is it? You can feel a lot better, but still know you've got it. Did you experience any side effects when you first started it? Can you remember?
Yeah, I can. And no, I didn't.
So you'll continue taking it?
Yes.
What would you say to other people that are a bit nervous about trying LDN?
Listen, if you're going through the trauma of suffering the multiple sclerosis or any other condition, it has got to be worth your while trying LDN, because as I have found an absolute life changer. Well, I recommend it. You give it a go.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us, John.
No problems at all.